Hi, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us today. I'm Amanda Price, VP of Marketing here at Boostability. And Search Sessions is a thought leadership series dedicated to helping businesses position themselves for success now and in the future. We feature fascinating people, business leaders, marketing and SEO experts, along with founders, CEOs, to provide key advice to take your business to the next level. This week, we have a fantastic show for you about how to dominate your local competition in 3 easy steps. We have 2 very special guests from Swell, Zeke Cook, Swell's co-founder and CRO. Zeke, thanks so much for being here today.
Absolutely, glad to be here.
Yes, we're so excited to have you here. And Danny Laneri, Director of Business Development. Danny, thank you for being here today.
Thanks, Amanda. Happy to be here.
And we have 2 special guests from Boostability, Christine Pratt, our Director of Content, and Maya Teagle, our SEO Manager. Christine and Maya, thank you for being here today. All right, guys, let's get started. We are going to start with our agenda today. So we're going to jump in with introductions and then go straight into how to dominate your local competition in 3 easy steps. We're going to talk about how to get seen with reviews, how to conveniently engage with customers, and then how to keep in touch with them. We're then going to dive into actionable SEO insights covering SEO and customer engagement and how combining these 2 strategies really equals a win for your business. And then we'll end with a Q&A. So during the presentation and the talk, please feel free to drop any Q&A questions you have in at the bottom of the screen, and Christine will go through them and then we'll answer them live at the end of the presentation. So let's jump in. So today's special guests are from Swell, a top customer engagement platform with tools to help your local business grow. With Swell, you can easily improve your online reputation by generating reviews and offering convenient online experiences that attract new customers and keep them coming back. Swell's platform offers engagement tools such as the ability to create surveys, to generate online reviews with your customers, and then gain customer insights, to leverage bulk texting and one-to-one texting direct with customers. And it also unifies messages across platforms like Facebook Messenger. Swell also has payment solutions, appointment scheduling, and web chat. So Swell is a comprehensive customer engagement platform. We're so excited to have them here today. So let's talk about our first guest. So we have Zeke Cook here with us today. Zeke is the co-founder and chief revenue officer of Swell, and he's responsible for all growth operations of the business, including go-to-market strategy, sales, marketing, and other channel initiatives. Zeke has over 12 years in sales and sales leadership, primarily in software. He's extremely accomplished, and Zeke, we're so excited to have you here today. Again, thank you. It's going to be fun. And then Danny is our second guest, and Danny is the Director of Business Development at Swell. He focuses on growth initiatives for the company, ranging from strategic partnerships to integrations and much more. He brings a decade of experience in customer communication, SaaS software, and Danny, we're so excited to have you here as well. And thanks to everyone in the audience for joining us today. Quick overview of Boostability, your host. Boostability is the global leader in small business and partner-focused white label SEO. We offer affordable SEO specifically designed to meet the needs of small to medium-sized businesses with full-service SEO and reporting, teams and technology, content writing solutions, along with website design and build. Our proprietary technology platform Launchpad tracks over 2.3 million keyword rankings per month, which enables us to make SEO decisions based on millions of bits of information. Not only that, but we serve customers and partners all around the world on the local level, and we're in 17 countries in 9 languages and are quickly expanding across the globe. We get 86% of our customers on the first page of Google within 6 months and got 78,000 keywords on page 1 in Google in 2020. So Boostability is here and we're dedicated to helping businesses succeed online. We have an amazing show for you today. With that, I'm going to transition the reins over to Zeke and Danny, who are going to take us through their strategy here and how you can dominate the local competition. So Zeke and Danny, over to you. Thanks so much. We're so excited about this.
You bet. Thanks, Amanda and team, for having us. We're excited to be here today, and we're hopeful that your audience can take a few snippets from this session and apply it to their business. We're talking about how to dominate local business. The idea here is how to help these, what we consider a location or local business stand out from their local competition and get chosen when it comes to providing services or products within the specific market they serve. The first, and in our opinion, the easiest way to start separating yourself from the local herd is really by dominating your online reviews. Obviously, reviews have become more and more popular over the last few years, and specifically when it comes to just making it convenient for customers to choose your product or service. Today's world is really powered by it's really about convenience when it comes to making business decisions and purchasing decisions, right? So whether you're buying a product on Amazon, or you're trying to find a new local dentist, or you're trying to figure out who's going to fix your leaky hot water heater, the idea here is that we want to make sure the businesses that we work with are standing out from that local competition and that they're being chosen because they have credibility and a great reputation. So that's really the first place that we like to start. In today's world, most businesses are being found through some type of search. Your water goes out, you have, a fire at your house, whatever it is, you're typically jumping online to figure out who's going to be the home service provider that's going to, take care of the issues that you have within your home. Or if you're trying to find that local dentist or you're looking to book some kind of travel and go on a tour, typically that's going to be done through a Google search. And we want to make sure that not only are these businesses credible, but they're showing up on these local search results. Which reviews heavily impact, and something we'll talk about in a moment. But the first and foremost is when someone's searching for your business, are you being found? And when you are found, are you credible? Right? And that's really the social proof, and that's the power of online reviews.
And reviews are so important. I know every time I'm searching for something online, especially in a marketplace like on Target or Walmart or Amazon or just anything online, and I'm trying to search for something, the first thing I do is I find a product I like. And the second thing I do is I go look at the reviews. And that is really one of the main things that is converting whether someone buys a product or not nowadays, and why it's so important to A, show up online, and then B, have this reputation that people can see what other people are saying about your business. So I love that we're talking about this today.
Yeah, you nailed it. You're absolutely right. And it's not uncommon. Reviews are becoming more and more influential when it comes to consumers and buyer behavior. Something Danny's heard me say a million times is your business is only as good as Google says it is. So you could provide the best service and the best product, or have the best customer experience, but if Google doesn't highlight that the same way you think it does, then unfortunately people are going to the guy down the street as opposed to choosing you.
Yeah. I love that.
So, now we're talking about online reviews. We're talking about really, how to separate yourself from, your local competition due to online reviews. And there's really a few things that we focus on. The first is obviously the overall rating. So are you an A player or not? The star rating does matter. So we like to recommend that the businesses we serve that typically have between a 4.8 and a 5.0 score. Doesn't mean you need to manipulate reviews or gate reviews. The idea here is that you just need to make sure that you're an A+ player when being compared to some of the competition that might be located right down the street from you. The second is really about the quantity of reviews or the number of reviews. I use an example of if you were, on a trip in San Francisco and you're looking up a sushi restaurant on Yelp, you're probably not going to choose the restaurant with a 5-star average, but only 5 reviews. You're much more likely to choose that restaurant that has 700 reviews and a 4.8 star rating because there's a ton of credibility there. So the quantity does matter overall. And then the third piece, and probably the most important to us, is how frequently the business is getting reviewed. I can't stress this enough. If Google's local search algorithm heavily weights the relevancy of reviews, which they consider new reviews to be more relevant. So that's one thing. But the second is when someone's reading your reviews, they don't want to read a review from 2 years ago. They want to read a review that's fresh and recent and has to do with someone's recent experience with your business. And so making sure that you're getting really these 3 things: a good star rating, a ton of reviews for building quantity, supporting that rating. And then the third is really just making sure that your customers are having the opportunity to review you as often as possible. So those are the 3 things that we think are easy fixes for most businesses, but traditionally where businesses struggle. They struggle getting good reviews. They struggle responding to reviews. Oftentimes they're trying to play defense because they got negative reviews and they're not getting a lot of consistency across just the reviews in general.
I think that's one of the things that's the most intimidating about reviews is how do you get them? How do you do that? As if you're a small business and you have customers coming in, like what's the right way to ask? Are there ways that you can automate this? Because it's so important and you need it, but it is a hard thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And really that's where our product and Swell's offering comes into play. We find most businesses aren't proactive when it comes to soliciting public feedback. So we provide a tool that allows them to make it convenient, both for them to ask for reviews and solicit that feedback, but also to make it as easy as possible for their consumers to leave that feedback. So we think that there's really a couple things here that come into play. One is just templatize the way that you ask for reviews. Make that a part of the standard operation of your business, where every time a consumer comes in and has some kind of transaction, they have the opportunity to leave feedback. And that can be on, whatever review sites might be relevant to your specific business. Unfortunately, most businesses that we come across aren't doing this in any way, shape, or form, and they're trying to play catch up now because they are getting beat in their local markets because the guy down the street again has significantly better reputation and better reviews. So the first is to templatize that and make it convenient to ask, where you don't necessarily have to verbally ask, but you're using a tool like Swell that sends out text and email requests following an interaction. And then the second piece of this is personalizing that. No one likes to receive automated, communication. They want it to look like it's coming from a human being. So in the event that someone does choose your business and they have an interaction and they receive that request, the more personalized that request looks, the more likely they are to engage with it. And so those are the two things that Swell does extremely well when it comes to making it convenient for the business to request these reviews. And then on the flip side, making it as convenient as possible for the consumer to actually now leave a public review on one of these sites.
And when you say templatize, does that mean like you can go in the Swell platform, for instance, and then create a template to request a review, and then the technology helps you like automate that so that it's not difficult?
Absolutely. That's exactly it. So, essentially what we try to do is we try to make it as convenient for the business to ask. And that could be through a series of different templates. These might be branded differently based on the type of purchase they made, the sales rep they interacted with. So the verbiage of the invite, the look and brand and feel of these invites are completely customizable. But the idea is, again, to help increase engagement. So, but that can all be managed within one simple platform.
Cool. And if someone's not using a technology like Swell, do you have any advice for how they could take this theory of like templatizing or strategy of templatizing and personalizing and execute that on their own?
Yeah, they definitely could. I mean, we work with some businesses and have talked to businesses that are doing this from their own cell phones. They're literally using their own cell phone number and sending out a request or encouraging someone to leave feedback on a public site following an interaction. You don't necessarily have to use a platform to do this. There's other ways to engage with your customer base and request feedback. We find that having a system that's automated or allows you to quickly templatize and leverage technology tends to be a lot more effective. But there's definitely different avenues that can be approached when it comes to review generation and soliciting feedback.
Awesome.
Going kind of piggybacking off that, this is an example, obviously, of a customer we worked with recently, but this specific dental practice started using Swell about a month ago. They went from 13 to 220 plus reviews in a 30-day period. And the only difference there was plugging in Swell and automating that review generation. So they obviously have branded templates that are being sent out via text and email following an interaction. In this case, these are automated based on a transaction that takes place in their practice management system. That could be a CRM system. It could be an EHR system, whatever type of business management tool they're using. But the idea is this is out of sight, out of mind for their staff. They're no longer worried about asking for reviews. They're no worried about collecting reviews. They've basically just plugged Swell in, and Swell does all the work when it comes to soliciting that type of feedback.
Wow, from 13 to 224 in a month. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and honestly, not uncommon. One of the challenges, honestly, and I'm sure you hear this all the time, Amanda, is that businesses in general, if they're not being proactive at asking for public reviews, then they're often just getting occasional negative reviews. most customers that use some type of service or product or a business, they usually have a pretty good experience, a satisfactory experience. That's why that business is still in business. But the challenge is getting their happy customers, those satisfied customers, to go out of their way to leave feedback. That's where most businesses really struggle. And that's why having a tool that's dedicated to doing these type of things is super valuable. So having a tool that's going to be your outreach, your engagement when it comes to soliciting this feedback and these public reviews.
And would you say that most customers, especially if they are happy, yeah, because a lot of times you think people only leave reviews when they're mad, but it sounds like you guys have experience where customers, if you make it easy for them and they did have a good experience, they're happy to leave a review, which is so beneficial to a business, especially in the local market, to have a bunch of great star ratings on your profile when you show up online.
Yeah, that's it. And we encourage businesses to ask everybody, regardless of the type of experience you think they might have had. It's okay if someone leaves you a negative review. We find that that's actually usually valuable feedback that you can now take in-house and find ways to better improve the customer experience. But at the end of the day, we also find that when you make it convenient for all of your customers to leave reviews, the average review score in our system, at least, is a 4.98. So significantly more people are willing to leave good reviews than negative reviews when you're proactive at asking to do so.
And making it easy for them. So I love that you can either like use a tool like Swell, or I love also, passing on the information to the audience that templatize your approach. Like take a text message that you write on like your note, and then you can copy it and paste it into your text system. And then every time after you have an engagement with the customer, send it out with a link so they could leave a review. So this is such good knowledge for people. And I think it also demystifies, because it seems sometimes daunting and overwhelming. But I mean, you guys are doing this at great success. I mean, the fact that this business went from 13 reviews to 224 reviews in a month shows that it's, customers they're willing. You as a business just need to be proactive and make it easy for them to leave a review. So this is great.
Yeah. And as you already know, online reviews are the new word of mouth. So, totally. You can have one person refer one friend, or you can have one person leave a positive testimonial on a site that might have thousands of people, come across that review over a short period of time. And so, we highly encourage any business to make sure that they're getting that feedback, specifically on the sites that are most relevant. In our case, most of the businesses we work with care about Google, they care about Facebook, and then there might be some secondary sites that are specific to the industries they serve. And our job is really just to help accommodate that and facilitate basically the path of least resistance on capturing those reviews.
So shifting gears a little bit here, I want to talk about the next step. We talk so much about the importance of online reviews, as thousands and thousands of customers are searching for various local services. And that, in my opinion, and Zeke and I were actually talking about this earlier, but that will only increase here shortly as some of these mandates are lifted and people are getting back out. They're still online searching for businesses in their local area, contrasting with reviews and using that as essentially just the initial smell check. But then the idea is that reviews should be driving additional traffic to websites, social, and now we want to talk about businesses opening up the ways and places that their customers can find and reach them, adding tools to their website like a web chat or a quick web form submission, or allowing customers to message them on Facebook and managing those messages. Essentially, now as everyone's on mobile and we have so many smartphones out there, and we really have the ability to connect with people in a more personalized way than ever before. And so that's really stand out online. But then as you see that surge of traffic, that increase in inquiry, connect conveniently, make that seamless, make it very convenient for customers to reach you how they want, when they want. And then you'll have, you're not going to be on the phone bogging down your phone lines trying to explain everything, because you can now take text messages, you can chat on your website, you can chat through Facebook. You have different tools that you're leveraging to communicate with more customers in a more convenient way than ever. Yeah, so in terms of just comparing, when we look from at where we've come from as to where we are now. Businesses have gone from sending out mailers to phone lines only to starting to slightly leverage emails to now we're saying we have the ability to solicit those reviews, but then as customers are coming to the website, why not place a widget right on the bottom right-hand corner of the site to allow somebody to submit a very simple 10-second question through and connect immediately with your business, whether someone's sitting on a computer or a mobile phone, you're now connected to a potential customer and you've got them right on the line. You know, text messages do not go unread, but we can help leverage additional tools so that these customers can reach you immediately, and communication can be quick, it can be snappy, and you're not waiting for hours and hours for a business to respond or sitting on a website wondering if somebody's going to respond. We want to leverage the tools that will help you communicate the quickest and easiest with these customers.
I think such a good takeaway on that is, in some kind of a theme I'm starting to hear from you guys, from making reviews happen to then engaging with customers, is how important convenience is, especially for that customer. I know that if I call in and I have to like sit forever and go through like a very long phone tree, I get annoyed and I just hang up. But if I can just instantly chat with someone online, or yes, if I get a text message, that's my definite preferred way of communicating with people. It just makes my life easier. And then I want to work with that business because you're making it easy for me to connect with you, opposed to difficult. If I'm trying to like book a landscaper, which I'm doing right now, and I've had to call this guy like 5 times, I'm almost about to not use his business anymore. And if I could like quickly be able to like, hey, chat online, that gets recorded in a system, and then a salesperson calls me back, or if they could at least text me and say, yes, we will show up to give you a quote, that would make my life easy, so that I'm not doing work to get your business. And then that convenience factor, I feel, then I'm happy, and then I'd leave a good review. You know, so it's kind of like, you are showing how it's all connected, making it a good customer experience, but then allowing customers to engage so that then they tell people about your business.
Yeah, that's it. I would say, honestly, just jumping in, I would love to, expectations have changed. We as consumers have different expectations. When we buy a package on Amazon and it's not delivered the next day, we're super upset.
That's so true.
If we call, if we can't find our loved one on Tinder, then we become upset. It's really convenience dominates. And so the idea now is to help businesses elevate their game and modernize the way that they communicate and engage. And response times matter, and how easy and convenient it is for someone to actually get in touch with the business through their preferred method of communication is really key. And that's kind of where we focus really on is that convenience, and then allowing the business and the consumer to choose how they interact with each other.
Awesome.
Yes, on the next slide, just talking a little bit more about some of these additional communication or additional connectivities. We want to talk about online scheduling and the ability to not only message or text, but to actually reflect general days and times. Somebody can message in saying, hey, I'd like to book this day and time, whether it's schedule only, or opening up the availabilities that your business has online to book your services. That's going to be something that's growing more and more. In fact, just like this stat says here, customers are actually, just like you, Amanda, saying, I'm about to pass on this business and take my business elsewhere because communication is frictionless. It's convenient. I can reach them how I want, when I want, and it's seamless. And so these connectivity tools are growing more and more than ever before. So on the next slide, just once again, and we'll say it over and over again, convenience is the commodity that matters most. And so here, this is just a little aesthetic look at our platform. We have the ability to run all this through mobile. We've got it there in a browser with app notifications, email notifications every time reviews are coming in, or somebody submits a question through the website, or messages through Facebook Messenger. We take all of those messages and centralize that into one omni-channel inbox to keep communication very simple, to make sure you're not missing a message, that you can communicate in a cadence that will help win customer loyalty and help you keep them for the long haul.
Yeah, I think such a good lesson here in this section is that I love convenience as a commodity. That's a takeaway for everyone. And then thinking about like as you're running your business, do you have things like this set up, whether you use one platform or multiple platforms and different technology, so that when a customer reaches out to you, can you capture that lead through like a chat tool, or are you enabling people to schedule something automatically with you through an app that, you know, sets that up and puts it straight into the customer's calendar? Making it easy for the customer to do business with you is not only creates a better user experience for them, but it is expected. And I think I love that, Zeke, you said that as consumers, like our expectations have changed a lot of that because of things like Amazon. And our attention has also shortened. I mean, even just watching television, things are like so much faster. You know, you get alerts on your phone all day. So people's attention is being pulled in a million directions. And then you have family and kids and work. And so as a business, if you want to really, really win, you need to make it convenient, and then there's so many great tools out there to like link in that customer experience so that you get that appointment. You don't miss that chat. And yeah, it's so important nowadays because the customer's expectations have changed. Awesome. All right,
yeah,
number 3.
Yeah, sorry. This third piece here. So we've talked about online reviews and driving traffic essentially to the business, getting found, standing out from the competition. We've talked about making it now convenient for those people who find you because of your reviews to now engage with the business and basically convert into leads and conversations. And the third piece is just staying in touch. We find this third piece here is where businesses typically fail the most. Is they've now served the customer, they've transacted, the customer is now gone, and that's the last time they ever communicate with them ever again. And our approach is very different. We think that once you land a customer, keep that customer for life. And the first thing that we typically recommend is have a strategy to stay in front of that customer moving forward. So the next time they need your type of service, that you're top of mind, or the next time someone asks them for a referral, they're thinking of your business and they're sending that business to you. And that's done through a couple different ways. You know, that's one, soliciting either reviews and feedback. So after a customer transacts, they leave, whether it's private feedback or public reviews, make sure that you're getting that feedback and you're learning, where can I improve as a business? How could I have changed that customer's experience with my business? If they had a good experience, how can I now leverage that customer that was happy and satisfied to now refer me to their friends and family, which just increased my essentially pipeline. And these are all things that can be done in an automated way. It also goes to the point of how easy and convenient is someone to pay. So after they transact, after you provided a service and now you're just trying to collect some payment, are you sending a paper statement? Let's be honest, people don't like receiving paper statements in the mail or invoices in the mail. If you can make it convenient for them to pay from their cell phone through Apple Pay or Google Pay or Venmo even, the idea here is it's again about convenience. You're kind of closing the loop on that interaction, whether it's through feedback, through payments, or even just staying in touch with them by automating some drips. You know, something that a lot of our customers have used specifically during COVID-19 was leveraging text message to stay kind of front and center. You know, maybe 30 days after a purchase or a transaction, are you following up to see if they're still satisfied with their experience? And that could be as simple as just a text message or an email saying, hey, Amanda, it's been 30 days since we just re-landscaped your yard. Is there anything else we can come help you finish with? And sadly, a lot of businesses don't do that. And I think that's a great way to stay in front of a consumer that's already chosen you. And you have now the opportunity to win their business again or get referred to their colleagues and family members.
And so you're saying that like through a text message, you could text a customer and then send them a link to a survey, and then they could just easily go through that on their phone, and then boom, you get that customer feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. So whether it's feedback, whether it's collecting payments, whether it's just checking in to say hi, the idea of this is it all can be automated or manually triggered by a user. But the idea is that you're still staying in communication after that customer has already chosen your business, after you've transacted and now they're on, they're moving on. The idea is that you're staying in front of them.
Wait,
And
you
that
collect
can be
payment
automated.
on the phone through a text? How does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. So the idea of that, and I think there's actually a slide for it, there it is, Amanda, if I'm your landscaper and I finish to complete your job, instead of trying to run your credit card or sending you an invoice, I can just send you a simple branded text that allows you in, essentially 2 to 3 clicks to pay that invoice directly through your mobile device. And we find that mobile payment solutions are extremely popular. COVID kind of expedited that popularity. And, it's just another option for a business and a consumer to be able to interact with each other, specifically in this case around payment collection, which
that's so nice too, because I get probably like over 200 emails a day. And so when I get invoices through email, I mean, it's great because then I eventually have a record, but I often miss it because I get so many emails. But if you text me, I mean, I pay attention to my text messages and I don't have all that noise. It hasn't become a noisy channel. Yeah, if I get a text message that bugs me, which I think is one thing to think about and be very careful as a business, is if I get a text message that feels like it's like fishy or like pushing something on me that I didn't request, then I like automatically like block that user or delete that thread. But if it's from a business that I trust and I've worked with in the past, that would definitely make my life easy, because then you don't, miss a payment on something and then suddenly you're in a bad situation because someone's, calling a third party service to come collect payment, so that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. And, anytime that you can offer a solution that's contactless is obviously a benefit in today's world as well. So, COVID-19 has kind of changed, behavior of consumers all the way to the point where they don't want to make physical contact with the business. So even as simple as handing over a credit card to swipe, you're seeing more and more businesses trying to leverage contactless solutions when it comes to even collecting payment. And so, our goal is really to provide all these solutions in one platform. And it really just comes down to engagement and convenience. And whether it's collecting a payment or collecting feedback or a public review, it's convenience. And it's really about what's the overall customer experience when it comes to transacting with you. So if I were to recap the 3 things we talked about, and it's really first, get found, be visible. When someone's searching for your type of product or solution in their local area, are you showing up on those local search results? And do you separate yourself from the rest of the pack? And that's heavily influenced, obviously, in our opinion, by online reviews. The second is make it convenient for them to engage. The idea here is, like Danny mentioned, people just want to be able to ask questions when they want, what channel they want to do it through, and they expect a quick turnaround on those questions. So make it easy for people essentially to do business with you by making it convenient for them to engage. And then the third is stay in front of them. If you've already won that business, make sure you're staying kind of front and center and on top of mind in the event that they might need to use your service again or want to refer that business to a friend or family or colleague. And so we think that these are really 3 simple steps when it comes to truly standing out from your competition in your local markets. Now, lastly, we love to, obviously we're biased and we'd love for the visitors of today's webinar to take advantage of Swell. We're offering 30 days. That's 30 days with no strings attached to leverage our platform and see if it's the right fit for their business. That includes all the products we talked about today, and we'd be happy to obviously walk through a more in-depth demo individually with each one of those. So you can reach us at swellcx.com. That's Swell, C as in Charlie, X as in X-ray.com. And we would love to hear how we might be able to help your business.
Yeah, and this is fantastic. We at Boostability, after we went through this, presentation with Swell, we said, hey, can you give us like our people an offer? Because this is so awesome. I think it would help so many people. So thank you guys so much for this. This is great. And I think the big takeaways are, whether you use a platform like Swell that kind of does all of this in one place, makes your life easy, or you're using a bunch of different technology, that's fine too. But just make sure you do take some time to invest in this, because it will help your business grow. Not only that, but you will dominate and beat your competition if you are paying attention to these things, making it easier for customers to do business with you, making sure you're investing time in online reviews, because that really is one of the big decision makers people look at now. So, and then make everything easy, from communication to payment and things like this. But scheduling, that's my big thing. That's what I'm having trouble with my landscaper right now. So thank you guys. Thank you so much. All right, now we're going to move on to our actionable SEO insights. We have Maya Teagle, our SEO manager, here today, who's going to talk about everything you just learned and how to combine that with your strategy that you're deploying for SEO, and how when you combine these two strategies of customer engagement and investing in your SEO to make sure that you're found online when people are typing in different keywords, you're really going to have the most maximized online presence and maximized ability to convert customers and win. So Maya, thanks for being here. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was awesome to hear about and learn more about Swell. The Swell team did an awesome job explaining how important generating reviews, customer engagement, and reputation are for businesses' online presence. And to build off that, I'm going to talk about the ways that online reviews can complement your SEO strategy and improve your organic presence through EAT, user experience, and rankings. So if you're new to the term, EAT stands for expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. It has been a consistent topic within SEO and plays an integral role in an organic strategy. EAT has been connected to content and on-site elements a lot, but we find it appropriate to reference it with online reviews as well for the following reasons. For starters, 82% of consumers read and trust online reviews and take them into consideration before converting. And while this isn't necessarily a surprise, especially in this digital age, that's a large amount of prospects and prospective customers businesses can lose out on just by not having any reviews for them to refer to, or just having very few, as Zeke mentioned earlier. And so generating online reviews from a variety of consumers can boost a business's EAT by demonstrating a credible reputation that people and search engines can trust, especially if the majority are genuine positive ratings. EAT, whether it's on-site or off-site, can impact your organic visibility as well. So for local businesses that don't meet these expectations, they increase the risk of being pushed down farther into the SERPs rather than up higher on the first page. So building up your EAT can put your local business in front of more prospective customers, and paired with positive online reviews, it can help increase site visits. It's also been shown to have that 4- and 5-star ratings on your Google My Business increases click-through rates, which is super awesome. And to build off that, positive star ratings can complement your SEO strategy. So by enhancing the user experience and by being featured in the organic search results, not just your Google My Business listing. You may have seen this yourself when shopping for products online or looking for a restaurant near you. It's extremely helpful to see the reviews immediately, as it saves you time and it shows you the information you're looking for immediately without you having to dig too deep into the website to find that. And just like having 4- and 5-star reviews on your Google My Business can increase click-through rate, so can having positive star ratings in your organic search result, which does directly influence your keyword positioning. The more engagement, the more clicks you get, it does influence your keyword rank. And so this is done by adding structured data or schema markup to the page that pulls in the reviews right into the SERP. So last but not least, the third benefit to working on both consumer review generation and SEO is the positive effects it can have on your local pack positioning. So that's the map pack that you might see when looking for local businesses near you. Online reviews are the second most important ranking factor for increasing your positioning in the local pack, alongside optimizing your Google My Business and link building, because they fall within the prominence category of those local search ranking guidelines. With prominence, that also has search engines reviewing both the quality of consumer ratings and the quantity. So as was mentioned before, you're not going to really trust a listing that has 5 positive reviews only from 5 different users versus one that has hundreds of different reviews and they may have like a 4 or 4.5 star rating. So while the goal is to increase the number of authentic positive reviews, this doesn't mean that rankings will immediately drop by having some negative reviews, or that you should remove negative reviews altogether if they are in fact honest and genuine. So some studies have actually shown that businesses can drop in local pack positioning if you do remove online reviews. So instead of viewing them as a negative consequence, it's good to view this as an opportunity to work on some reputation management and restore your business's credibility online. So overall, review generation and customer engagement, it does differ from SEO, but it's very clear how the two complement one another, and generating reviews online can significantly help with improving your organic presence.
Awesome, Maya. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We are now going to jump into Q&A with Christine Pratt, our content director, and she's going to take us through a bunch of questions. We have phenomenal questions that we're excited to answer live, both in the chat and also in the Q&A. I want everyone to be able to hear these because there's such good questions coming through. So Christine.
Thanks, Amanda. So I've got a few for Danny and Zeke. I'll start directing them over to you guys, but they're asking really, what are some of the best platforms to solicit reviews for? I mean, Google is probably obviously the most visible because it's where we search. Facebook's a common one. But one, he came in and asking, he's a roofing contractor. So, I mean, are there places where businesses really should solicit? Maybe a restaurant would look at Yelp. Tell us about some of the best places that you should really be soliciting reviews.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question, by the way. You know, the reality is we will typically always recommend that you dominate Google before you worry about other review sites, primarily knowing that Google makes up more than 88% of local search results. So typically that's kind of the tip of the spear and where a business might, or a consumer might see reviews for a specific business. And then from there, you know, it really depends on the industry. Some specific industries, let's call it like attorneys, they might want their reviews on a site like Avo, which is a very specific legal review site, versus a healthcare provider that really wants to focus on generating feedback on health grades. So it's really a combination of what type of business are you, what industries are you in, and then we can help you decide where is the most value going to come from when it comes to getting these reviews and on which sites. But, you know, predominantly the businesses that we work with are really keen on focusing on Google, which heavily impacts those local search results.
Okay, great. Another one is focused on kind of a franchise model. So, you know, if you have a tire shop, let's say, and they're in, you know, 4 different locations and they're trying to solicit reviews for all of them, is there a good way to manage that, to maybe either keep track of it in one place, or, you know, should you be using, you know, for say your services for all of them to bring in reviews for the different locations? What's a good strategy for like a franchise?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we strongly believe that if they have a 4 location franchise, they should be driving reviews to the specific, you know, Google My Business pages and review sites that are specific to the actual location that a transaction took place. So that would be, you know, there's simple ways to monitor this and engage with those consumers using a tool like Swell, which is really built for both single and multi-location businesses. But the idea is that it's really got to be convenient. You know, if you're managing 4 locations, you don't want to be jumping into 4 systems. You want to be able to do that from one single pane of glass. And so, you know, obviously, again, we're biased, but we love working with multi-location businesses because they're able to accomplish all of this, whether it's reviews, chats, inboxes, all those things in one centralized platform.
Okay, great. Another question we have is, you know, we've been talking a lot about B2C, you know, the tire shop, or, you know, all the landscaping company, as Amanda was saying. Is this a good strategy for companies that are more B2B specific?
Yeah, it definitely can be. You know, I'm sure Danny has some comments on this as well, but, you know, let's take Boostability as an example. If a prospect is thinking about using you guys and they jump online and they see a bunch of online reviews that don't tell the appropriate story, there's a good chance that you might lose them to somebody else. And so whether you're B2B or B2C, it's really, to us, it's kind of irrelevant. The idea is that we want to make sure that you're getting a proper representation of the type of services that you provide, regardless of who your actual end customer is.
Yeah, I think that, I've done B2B and B2C marketing in my lifetime, and they're actually very similar. Sometimes you just deploy a tactic a little bit differently, but everything that we've talked about today 100% applies to B2B as well. Everything from making, it easy to book an appointment, to capturing that lead through chat, to making sure you're showing up online with SEO, and then having that online reputation component with reviews and how they together work symbiotically to like boost your online presence. It's so important to look at all of these strategies and how they work together and combine them, but they 100% work for B2C and B2B. If you have a specific B2B question, please drop it in and we will definitely try and answer it as well.
For sure. Thanks, Amanda. One other, tell us a little bit about like the process itself and how this would work. Like, what does it look like to solicit a review? I mean, a transaction happens, whether that's, the mobile payment service or, an actual credit card swipe or something like that. How does the process work to be able to get a review, whether that is a service that happened or, like a veterinarian or, a retail or something like that? How does it work?
Yeah, I'd say our customers are using it two different ways. One is what we consider an automated way, where Swell is actually integrating to the systems that they're already using. So that might be a POS system, it might be a CRM system, an EHR system. And we're basically just triggering off these automatically based on the type of interaction the customer had. So essentially data is just getting passed from one system to another and saying, hey, Amanda just came in, she had this specific service done, and now she gets a specific type of interaction or engagement, which might be a Swell payment. It could be a review invite. It could be private feedback or an NPS survey. It might just be a text saying, thanks for choosing our business. That's really at the discretion of the business, but that's the automated fashion. And then the other way is a more manual, more kind of intimate way of leveraging the platform, where it's really more manual entered, where this might be done through our website or directly through our mobile app. And these are being initiated by an actual user, and they're picking and choosing what they're doing and when they're doing it. So those are really the two ways that consumers engage with our platform, and how they use our platform to in return engage with their customer base.
I love automation because the tools exist now and they're there to make your life easy. So if you are a landscaper or a lawyer or anything, any type of business, you can go on managing your day. You just need to take that time to set up those templates and set up the automation, and then it just runs for you. And if you make that convenience factor for the customer and for yourself, your business will grow because you're able to do so much more. And I can't encourage you enough to leverage like tools and technology like Swell. It just makes your life easy. And I think the other thing is, we talked a lot about reviews and a lot about communication, but that aspect of being able to get information from customers, you can then use that for product development or service development, because you might find that you didn't even think about something, but they're giving you that feedback through that review or that survey, and you go, oh, wow, I didn't even know people really liked that aspect. Let me bump that up in priority. So there's so much benefit you can get from automating things like this. Or if you aren't going to use a technology like Swell, then just block out some time in your day or your assistant's day or your team member's day to implement these things so that you can get that feedback, because it does give you a competitive edge against your competitors.
Yeah, absolutely. Something you mentioned there, Amanda, I'd highlight real quick. We have a saying here that optimization is the combination of automation and personalization. So if you can automate personalized engagement, you're going to be able to optimize pretty much all of these initiatives.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Okay, one more, and then we'll wrap up questions. But there's the B2B question followed up, and it says, what if users want, they want to stay anonymous, they don't want to get in trouble at work or something like that. Are anonymous reviews, do they hurt? Are they helpful? I mean, in the world of online privacy, maybe someone might be hesitant to share that feedback. Do you have any thoughts on that for businesses?
Yeah, that really just comes down to the review site that they might be leaving a review on. Some sites allow you to leave anonymous reviews and many don't. You have to be some kind of credentialed user to be able to leave a review. on sites like, Google and Facebook, essentially, right? And so at the end of the day, if someone doesn't want to leave public feedback, essentially, that might be found on a review site, they still have the opportunity to leave feedback that might be just collected internally.
Yeah,
and
that's when your surveys are like perfect for an industry like that. Survey.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And even our review invites, you have the ability to customize, the options on those invites, which means if someone prefers to leave just private feedback instead of public, they have that option. So if they don't feel comfortable leaving that testimonial online, they can just leave that feedback directly to the business manager or whatever users have access to that feedback within the Swell platform.
And one thing I wanted to say that connects into SEO opportunity as well is, let's say you're running surveys and you're getting all this great feedback from customers about what they're interested, their questions, yada, yada, yada. You then take that and turn that into a blog post. Or give that to whoever you're working at Boostability, and we'll do that for you. But then that can now start ranking online. And when customers have questions, boom, they start finding this resource. So you can connect these strategies to support your SEO growth, to support your customer engagement, and to the overall growth of your business. But, think of them as interconnected, not so separate, because getting that survey information, you can then improve your product. You can then turn it into an SEO, blog post or page on your website. There's so much great value you could do by deploying things like this. Awesome. Well, thanks everyone so much. We are just thrilled, Swell, to have you guys here. Zeke and Danny, thank you. We are at the end of this amazing show. If anyone needs help with your SEO, Boostability is here to help you. Reach out to us at boostability.com, or you can watch any more of these search sessions on our website as well. And then we will be sending out an email so you can get directly connected with the Swell guys and take advantage of this amazing offer too. So thank you guys so much. Thanks to everyone for their time for coming, and we will talk to you soon.
You bet. Thanks, everybody.
Take care.
All right, we'll see you.